but protect women. Um, can you protect the Krishan? Can you
Protect her
protect? Can
how?
you protect the a Krishan, Sexy Red, Sukiyana? She had her Me Too issues a little while back. Remember the guy kissing her at the basketball game. I don't know if Sexy Red had any actual issues. She might have, might not have. I don't know. But her name just be popping up all over the place. So I just threw it in like everybody else do. But no, but the women that have been victimized um in public in those scenarios, like the Sukiana when she got kissed by what was it, YK Osiris
Mm-hmm.
at the basketball game that did it. Lil Duval and all them was at the table, and everybody came at them like, "You're not protecting black women and things." Da 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 da. Mm, could they protect her in that situation? Is there something that they should have done to make her more comfortable? Would they even know? Could you reasonably expect them to know that she's uncomfortable being treated that way when she's her? She's done these things. She says these things out loud in the face of people telling her, "Nah, it ain't the way to move around out here." No, if you do that,
So,
people are gonna do
so
this
that's
and think
like
of you that
saying,
way.
so, and I understand what you're saying about um the big reds and the what's her name, Christiana. I don't really
Is she like a little
follow that.
Kim? Right.
Yeah, I understand. I understand what you say. I understand what you say about the women. I understand what you project. I understand what it is that they show. I understand what it is that they sell. But the reality is that's just like you telling the woman not to walk down the alley. Does she then deserve to be assaulted or violated or touched against her will because she still walked down that dark alley? Does she then deserve what she got?
Mm-hmm.
To make it okay for her to be violated
That was
without
pretty
her
good,
will?
Chris.
She didn't ask for that kiss. She didn't say kiss me. Did she say that? Did she say yes, you can kiss me? It's okay.
I believe what she told that boy was, "You ain't ready for this. You wet behind the ears. I hurt you," or some shit to that effect. I believe that's what she said to him.
None of that sounds like yes, you can kiss me or touch me.
Hey, look, it's a real fine line to
It may
figure
be,
out.
but it doesn't
Hey,
sound
look,
like
hey, look,
approval to me.
hey, hey, look, hey, look. If a motherfucker said closed mouth don't get fed around you, and that's not necessarily a okay to go and do what the fuck it is you want to do,
Okay.
but you can interpret it as a such a way. Well, was she telling me to shoot my shot? Was she telling me to go for it and do what I'm supposed to do? Don't
Damn.
be ambiguous. If you telling motherfuckers that you about that life 100 miles an hour all day, every time anybody see you, when you get around motherfuckers and
Hey,
you
pretty ass
still
lady.
talking that same type of shit around grown men and they try you, that's the reason they tried you, in my opinion. Tony, you was trying to say something, I think. I don't know. Uh
I'm saying, does it make it any less of an assault? Does it make it any less? You're saying that because they did this, which is really a harmless action, being like little Kim, you could talk about all the dicks you want to suck. You could talk about getting. I don't know what the little red and what they talk about, but I'm pretty sure it can't be worse than putting the coke cans down your throat that Kim used to talk about. My thing is this: you can do all that, but it doesn't change a rape from a rape. It doesn't change an assault from an assault.
you're right.
So
You're right. The
it
rape
doesn't.
is still a rape, the assault is still an assault. I
Cause
don't
let's talk
disagree
about
with
it. What nobody getting a little Kim? What nobody sneaking up on Kim, kissing on Kim? That shit wasn't happening.
I don't know that to be true. I don't know that to be true. All I know about Lil Kim is she had a scratch and sniff poster. She was Biggie's side chick. She had to get her stomach pumped for semen. I mean, little tidbits of things like that. There, shit like that. I don't know these things to be true. I don't know them to be true because of the era of which in which these things happened. We didn't have cameras every single
They
place a
all
person went
songs.
to capture all of these things.
And while
So
we talk
I
about
don't
Kim,
I don't know who tried Lil Kim,
the
but
Kardashians
if
still
if
famous and
if
they
you
still
had to
love.
have your stomach pumped, I'm gonna tell you right now, motherfuckers was trying you a lot. Now, hey, look, I ain't saying the motherfucker supposed to put no no undue strain on you. But a motherfucker gonna try you. If you talk all that shit, a motherfucker gonna shoot their shot. A motherfucker gonna say questionable things to you because you say questionable things in public.
That don't mean for you to put your hands on me.
In the terms of what we talking about though, the artists that we know, the Sukiana, um, again, the innuendo of the "you couldn't handle me" sounds like a challenge when accompanied with the "you a little boy" and the ridicule of "you're not enough" and saying it, sticking it to you. It sounds like prove it. That's what
So
it sounds.
instead of taking,
But what I want to try to get to is a understanding of how language works. And if you in the moment saying shit like that, in the moment a motherfucker might say, "Hey, that feels like you want me to be froggy." That seems like you're participating in the banter in the moment around what I'm planning on doing to show my manhood. I'm gonna lay one on you because you think I'm a little boy.
so in your toxic masculinity,
Call it
you
that.
chose
That's what's
to
up.
assault me instead of taking your tail, tucking it between your legs, and walking away.
Hey,
How is
look.
that
Why
right?
would I tuck my tail between my legs when it feels like you're challenging me, not rejecting me? If it feels like a challenge, challenge accepted.
That's because
But
he's young. That's
It's
because
why is
because
that's
it
he
how.
it's
such
because
a
he's
challenge?
young. It's because he's young and you want to say that that's cool. It's because he's young and a person was telling him to do things.
Is that something that you would have taken as a
Listen,
challenge in that situation? Being that person, but being you, like reality. Would
In
you think it was
reality, in
okay?
my younger days, I have taken that challenge and have done that in my younger days. Yes, I have been that. I have been with females and I have been around females and they've done that thing. Well, boy, you still wet behind the ears. You don't know what you doing. You wouldn't know what to do with it if I showed it to you. Oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and prove it. I'm gonna press you because that seems like an invitation for me to press you in
that's the
in in this
question.
in this in this in this in this moment. Now, hey, look, all mine were successful. Well, in the instance that I ain't never had no charges or nothing like that, nobody complained about it. But in the instance that we live in 2023, a motherfucker could get mad about that shit next week. A motherfucker could see you with somebody else on campus and now become upset and now want to rethink their decisions from last Friday.
Mm.
That's a thing that happens. I'm just
This
saying
is the
where
thing
I'm
that
Why
just
we fault
saying
happens.
these young women for being like Little Red?
where does the man have protection in that moment? What is he supposed to do? Wait for the actual yes, please come kiss me on my lips right now. Is that what is
Absolutely.
that where we're at right now? Is that where we're at?
Absolutely. The
Can I
man
ask you
waits
one
for
quick question? Can I ask you one
the
quick question?
man waits
Can I ask
for
you
consent.
one quick question? How many times have you ever said to a man, "You can kiss me right now"?
As many times as
Every
I wanted to be.
every time a man
I'm just
decides he
asking.
wants
How
to
many
put
times have you ever
his
said
lips on
that?
me.
I don't
Anytime
recall
a man
ever
wants to put
being
his lips on
told.
me.
I don't recall ever
You
being
should work
told
on
to
your
kiss
breath.
me, Jacques.
You should work on your breath then, sir.
I probably should. I probably should. But yeah, nah. Hey, look, that. Hey, look, come over here and kiss me. The first. No,
It's
never.
not what we're used to, but here's the thing: in order to
Y'all do that?
avoid,
No, I'm asking. Y'all do that regularly? Y'all just be like, hey, yo, look.
Absolutely. I
Have
need
you?
to know where your mouth been at, who you been kissing on, what you got going on inside your mouth. I don't want your lips on me. No, I do consider kissing me without my permission assault.
Hold on, hold on.
Absolutely.
So you grant permission for every kiss? Is what I'm asking.
Yes.
not
Cool. I believe you.
literally not every kiss, but a first kiss. And if you, and even if I'm out here like Lady Red or whatever the lady's name is, you have to realize that she's talking to millions of people. So every millions, all the millions of people, all the millions of men who hear her say what she got to say, they're supposed to take it as a challenge and be like,
No,
well, now if
Right.
I
no.
get close to her, it's
I was
supposed to
referring
flow
I
from.
was referring to the Sukiana and YK Osiris situation where they were in real time having that real time conversation, walking through all of that communication in real time, doesn't seem like an attack to me.
I don't know them specifically, honestly.
I
I'm
don't
a
know them
farmer. I don't
either,
have
but I
time
just
for
know the
celebrities.
situation. I'm explaining to you
You tell,
exactly how it went
tell me,
down though.
tell me what went down there. I don't understand yet.
They were at a basketball game. Um, the panel was talking about sex. The topic of sex came up. Sexual innuendos were thrown about. She was throwing them as well. The two of them were mentioned, and they were talking about how he was scared to do something to her, and he was like, "Nah, I'm not really." He, and she was like, "Boy, you wouldn't know what to do with it. I'll hurt you. You wet behind the ears. You too young for a woman like me.
Uh-huh.
I, boy, you couldn't handle it." And she was giving him all that. You too young. All of that shit. That's what she was doing. And then he went in for, I think, a kiss at the first time, and they laughed it off and played it. And then they talked more shit. And then he went in for the second kiss, was the one that got shown on all of the everything, was the one where he actually like tussled with her a little bit, but it was very, very quick. So maybe he could have got a clue, but in the moment, I could see a clue being missed. What I'm saying is, I'm not counting that as an attack. I'm not going to impugn that man as a sexual deviant, as an assaulter or anything like that. I'm just
No.
not. I'm not. I've been in that situation, and in my situations, it worked out. I didn't have a person that came out after the fact and wanted to complain about it.
Here's the thing.
But that's how they typically go, from my experience. I've
Yeah,
seen them. I've been in them.
he's not an assaulter. That's fine. But men need to allow that behavior may have been okay once upon a time, and we're slowly evolving to a place where women don't want to have to put down your come ons 5, 6, 7, 8 times in one evening. We want to be able to say, ha ha, no, not that, but we can continue on talking or whatever about it, but we can't do it. And have some understanding behind that, because that's
But
what we have been used to for so many years is all based off of the patriarchy and men's rights to women's bodies. And for women to say, hey, I have any type of anonymity over my own body, clearly is still a threat. When you can't say, why do I have to say more than once? Because somebody in the 50s used to let men hit on them and hit on them until they got her, and then it was just some terrible secret that the woman had to carry with her, because
Hey,
women
it,
you
were
in
shouldn't.
always
in
Hey,
too demure to say no.
you shouldn't have to say no more than once.
in
One
the
no
reality
is all anybody should ever be
I don't feel like I feel
required to
personally
entitled
give.
I'm
to.
saying yes.
One no. I mean, oh no,
in the
one
reality
no is all
in the
anybody should be required
reality
to
of
give. I'm not a
consent.
proponent.
And
Let me finish. Let me finish. I'm not a proponent of you just fighting past the no. I'm I'm against persistence.
Hmm.
I'm not trying to knock a brick wall down to date, to get a number, to have a conversation. If I ask you for your number, if I ask you to talk, if I ask you to have a conversation and you say no and you
Hmm.
reject me, I'm rejected. I'm cool with the rejection and I'm done with it. There's no need for me to continue and pursue. I'll never
but
chase. I'm not a chaser. So it is what it is. And I encourage other men to not chase. So
Hmm.
as long as we into that not chase shit, your no is sufficient. And I'm fully I'm fully on board with the one no policy. I'm with
and
that.
the reality of consent is I consent until I don't consent. So she may have let him kiss her the first time, but that second time she didn't consent to that.
Okay.
It's just like it brings me in the mindset of, so like this one time I went to a lifestyle party. So there's this guy there. I have known him for a couple years.
Quick question.
Um,
Quick question for
uh-huh.
clarity's sake. What's a
Yes,
lifestyle party?
a swingers party.
Okay. I didn't
So
know.
I went to this swingers party. Let's say I was dressed in this one piece. I was looking real cute. I was all dressed up. I think it was like Playboy Bunny night that night, so you can imagine. Um, and there's this guy there that I had known for a long time, and I finally let him touch me that night. He said, "Can I touch your ass?" I said, "Yeah." That one time while we were standing on the stairs. So every time I saw this man that night, he touched on my ass. So we got to the end of the night, and I was so irritated by him. But he was trying to be so helpful, and he decided he wanted to walk me to my car. And he walked me outside, and we were standing on the stairs, and he reached over and touched my ass the last time. And I said, please stop touching me. He had consent until he didn't have consent. That's
Mm-hmm.
with any woman. That man should have not have been allowed to get up and kiss her again. She should have done a lot better job at maybe relaying that. I don't know what kind of body language she was getting. I can't say all that. It wasn't her fault that he got up and did it again. He decided that that's what he was going to do. He took it upon himself. Just like that man took it upon himself to reach out to me 7 different times to touch me that night. Like it
Hey,
happens.
can I ask you a
Doesn't
question?
matter.
Can I ask you a
Go for it.
question? First time he said, "Can I touch your ass?" You said yes,
Uh huh.
and that was it. He said, "Can
Uh
I touch
huh.
your ass?" You just said yes.
Mhm.
Okay, so just to be clear, just from that man's perspective, when he asked, "Can I touch your ass?" and you said yes, I'm gonna say that he thought that he now had permission to touch your ass. He didn't say, "Can I touch your ass?"
Absolutely.
He didn't say, "Can I touch your ass one time?" Just this one time, and you said once. All right, and that's it. All right, we done. It was, "Hey, look, can I touch your ass?" Yeah, okay, cool. And now when I see you and touching your ass, the second time I touched your ass and you didn't say no, was it wrong?
No, it was
No,
on me to
no.
say no. It was on me to give consent. But it was wrong for you to assume that you had consent.
Why? When he asked for consent, every time I touch your ass,
Oh,
I gotta ask for
why?
consent. I've asked for it already. You said yes. I have consent until it is revoked. If I, hey, look,
Is
hey, look,
there, hold on. Let me interject. There's a such thing as decorum. Just because I told you can have one of my pops, don't mean you can have the whole 12 pack. So
Exactly.
that's a
we not.
consumable. That's different, fam. Don't
It's
have
not.
Exactly.
It's
seven
not
touches tonight.
different. It's not
That's
different.
Don't
not
have seven
different.
ass touches tonight.
That's not
And
different. Just
I
because
don't
I
know if
let you
you're
do
not
it
liking
once,
it.
man, you
If
gonna
you
keep
don't
doing
never
it?
say no,
No.
I don't like this. How is he not?
We
To know
not
to
in a
stop?
relationship. You don't know me past Adam. Besides, you seen me at a party 3 or 4 times. How many times has that man seen her on that panel? That was okay? No, that wasn't. But you had consent until you didn't have consent.
When it's revoked, it's revoked. Y'all can say it's
Mhm.
stupid for him to keep touching her. I think if you're irritated from someone touching you, it is the best option to just say, "Stop touching me." The
It's to
first,
say, stop
the
touching me.
moment you're irritated, and that has to be, that has to be acceptable. That has to be what's that word we use all the time when we try to
But
say
it's not. It's
that
not
that that,
acceptable.
that
It's
needs to
not
be
acceptable
I
for
got
a
it
woman to say no.
normalized. That needs
It's
to be
not acceptable.
normalized. Your
It's
ability to reject
not.
immediately.
It's not.
I'm saying it should be.
Most times it's assumed the woman is the problem until it's proven different.
I'm saying that you should have the authority, and I think that you do, to just say no.
I'm not saying that I personally
And I
don't
don't
have the
think anybody should
authority,
begrudge you for the no.
but
Period.
every woman does not have that authority. Every woman does not have
Yes,
that
they do.
ability.
Yes, they have that authority. They have
Women
that
are
authority.
raised to be
It may not have that
nurturers.
ability in the moment to say that because of other circumstance. If you're being accosted or something like that, I'm with you. But beyond that, in the instance of a motherfucker grabbing your ass at a party 6 times too many, the second time just say stop. I, hey, look, if he didn't stop, then be upset. Then go into this dive, all of that. Then check that motherfucker. Do those things. What I think at the second time he grabbed your ass and you told him to stop, he probably would have stopped because he seems like a respectable, respectful individual. And the first instance when he even asked Hey, can I touch your ass?
No, it didn't get
He
annoying.
asked. He
It
sounds like a
didn't
reasonable
get
guy.
annoying until the sixth or seventh time. It didn't get annoying until I really said something.
My point is
No,
this. My point is that when you get annoyed, then say something, then he'll stop. Okay, cool.
absolutely.
I thought I could just touch your
I
ass
wasn't
now
worried
every
about
time I
that.
see you. It's not the case.
Who
Okay,
watches this
cool.
podcast?
I wasn't worried about that. But what I'm saying is, when women don't have that ability, when women are in situations that you see that they don't have that ability, those women don't deserve to be protected.
I don't think those women have the
I
ability
mean,
to be protected.
but
If
the
you don't have the
behavior.
ability
Hold
to say
on.
no, then there's probably nobody around for
And
you.
not an instance in
Probably
a
nobody
party,
to hear
but
the
an
no.
instance.
But hey, look, if you're petrified in the moment and you're alone in a dark alley or in a room with a man by yourself, I can understand the fear that may kick in, that may petrify you. I can wholeheartedly understand that, and I get it. Now, if you're in the midst of a party of a group of
No,
people
I'm
and
not
this is
talking about a
happening, I'm
party.
going to hold you to the
Mm-mm.
same standard that I held a Terry Crews to when a motherfucker grabbed his dick in a room full of people. And hey, look, Terry, you ain't got to beat that motherfucker ass, but you need to say something in this room full of people grabbing your dick.
I'm not talking about a party because we're not talking about parties. That was an example that I
I mean in
used.
public. I mean around
Don't do
people, not
that.
necessarily
I'm
a party.
talking
I
about
mean
women
around
in
people.
general.
I mean
Do
around
women?
people.
We talking about women in general. Do women
Yes,
deserve to be
in
protected?
general, around people, you have the ability to say, help, stop, no, don't, all of that shit. Alone,
So
one
what
on
about
one,
the
when
women
you don't
who
have
don't
anybody else,
have
I can
that
see that, yeah, it's not
ability?
gonna work. We ain't gonna be able to do it. I get that.
Then they can't be protected.
What about those women who don't have that ability?
Why don't they?
What about those women who are walking down the street and they do freeze? What about women who get catcalled? You don't know what women have gone through in order to make them freeze. You don't know what triggers them.
Hmm.
I'm walking down the street and I get catcalled by three or four different men, and I freeze because I don't know what to do. So now they all surround. Like, do you get what I'm saying? And those are
I
rare
get,
situations.
I get what you're saying, and that's a rare situation, and I get it, and the rarity of it. Hey, look, we're gonna talk about it. Let's talk about it. I don't think that that's a common occurrence. I think the more common occurrence will be a woman being catcalled and either ignoring it or responding to it either positively or negatively. Those are the only three outcomes that I see from catcalling. You ignore it, you respond to it, positive, negative. That those only three. Am I wrong?
Typically, something I would do. Yeah.
Ty- Typically. So I'm just saying, when you're in public, you have the ability of you have those three options. You have the ability to choose any of those three. Ignore, respond, flowchart, positive, negative. However you want to do it, however it plays out, it plays out. I'm not with no violence, but if you respond negative to a motherfucker saying, "Oh, hey, you looking beautiful today, ma," that's a cat call. And that and
What
that's
the,
a, and
what,
that's one that I've been told is disrespectful and beyond the pale. I get
what
it.
does that
If a
have to do
motherfucker
I
with
say,
think
"Oh,
the
with that
women?
you
men.
got a swinging ass over there, girl. Bring that dump truck over here." That's kind of
What
fucked
has
up.
it, what does that have to do with women deserving to be protected?
Protection.
Hey, look, I think we beyond that because I haven't heard the answer to that question yet.